You know what's worse than overpriced cars? Idiots who keep overspending on them and so much more. Goldman Sachs published a study that found out 40% of Americans who are earning over $300,000 are still living paycheck to paycheck. Let that sink in. That is life-changing money for you and me, and I don't know about y'all, but it's probably not crazy for us that if we've even made half that, right, I'd have all my financial problems solved, much less the full 300 grand or higher. That's why it's completely mind-boggling for me to learn that almost 1 in 2 300k earners are just fumbling their paycheck. Of course, this phenomenon isn't exclusive to rich, as chances are, even a lot of normal earners are more willing than ever to overspend on things they don't need to impress people they don't even like.
What is one bad financial decision that you regret making in life?
Oh man, low-key buying a car young, trying to finance into one, trying to get a little Challenger, that 392.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I shouldn't have bought it. I mean, I wanted it, but I shouldn't have bought it because my daughter's going to college, my son's going to college.
These are luxury designer purchases that I absolutely wasted.
Is the economy rough right now? Absolutely, but should we be making the situation worse by spending 5 times what we make on credit cards, buy now, pay later, and stupid loans? I mean, come on, you know the answer to that. And no, doom spending is not an acceptable excuse. The version of them 5 years from now sure won't appreciate their doom spending and will be like, man, I sure wish I had the money instead of spending it back then, but instead they're gonna be a puerternus and blame their past version instead of fixing their current present to plan for the future, thus continuing the cycle of the puerterni. Regardless, if you guys are interested or not, I absolutely want to yap more about the puerternus for a video someday. Probably later than sooner, since next week might be about the World Cup instead, to inject some much needed positivity onto this channel. So let me know if you guys actually would be interested in that topic for next week, around the time most of the matches finish. Anyways, back to overspenders.
How much do you think you've spent since you started working here?
5,000. That's a little high.
What do you think was spent in the most recent month?
I would say 14,000.
How is that considered financially stable?
Near the breaking point, I guess.
We are at the breaking point, babe.
I don't feel like it's an emergency.
Easily the biggest reason overspending happens is from the complete and utter lack of having a budget. I'll talk about my budgeting later, but for now I'm glad past me never got himself into stupid debt since he at least did the bare minimum and checked his account balance from time to time. I want all of these. I wonder what my bank account's looking like. I could use some new mods for my Mustang, alright? Let me just check over here real quick. Ah, damn it. I can't read. I can't be the only one who consulted their bank account right before buying something big, right? Like, you don't want to go into the negative. At least that's what I thought people cared about, but who am I kidding? People just use buy now, pay later these days, or credit cards, or whatever they can. Let it be known, I was way ahead of the curve on clowning on this one. I used to make fun of MFs who bought car mods like wheels and whatnot with the Firm and Klarna Afterpay way back in 2021 and 2022. Now everyone and their mom keeps popping up a new video making fun of this stuff. Unfortunately, there are a lot of psychological studies showing that these buy now pay later formats, as well as credit cards, make our brain feel like it spent way less than it really did. It actually only processes the first few payments. It's like, oh, that $500 item I just bought, oh no, that was just a $60 item. Or some people, it's even like, oh, that 5,000 handbag I just bought, oh, that's just a couple $100. By staving it off for the future, it also triggers less pain receptors. So buying something up front that's expensive actually causes pain. And I'm perfectly okay with that, because looking back at it, yes, it does. Actually, every time I bought a big car mod, I was like, why did I do this to myself? The point is, the brain now thinks it can actually buy even more because it didn't actually fully process how much was really spent, combined with the fact that it didn't receive enough pain or acknowledgement for the actual amount spent. So it's like, happy, happy, happy. And that's why people get literally addicted to credit card spending or buy now, pay later, because it isn't triggering one of the things that usually stops addiction, which is the pain in buying these horrendously expensive purchases, right?
And I think I've spent probably maybe $120,000 here.
I think I've spent roughly around $150,000.
Reaction.
That's my reaction.
And I think I've spent about $3,800 on my 4 kids.
You have actually spent $13,905.03.
And that's absolutely how these people are going, not just a few hundred over, but several thousand over. They have to be using these buy now, pay laters or credit cards, because anyone who's actually buying with a debit card or actually checking their bank account balance isn't going to be doing this stuff. If these TikTok MFs are scared of feeling anxiety from checking their balances, wait until they feel the crushing stress from the debt that it realistically creates. And no, TikTok, you can't just say, oh, I don't have to pay back debt. Debt isn't real.
Don't pay back your credit card. Who cares, man? Who gonna stop you? If the government can be in debt, so can I.
Don't pay your credit card off. What if we all collectively decided we are going to max out our credit cards and not pay it off? What are they going to do?
Because guess what? You're a few years, if not maybe just a few more months away from the other TikTokers who learn the hard way that credit card companies and many other companies will in fact sue you for your debt. They're gonna get their money back. I don't understand.
Me when Amex mailed me a letter saying they were going to sue me because I stopped paying my credit card for like 6 months. When Best Buy sued me for $969 because I stopped paying my credit card. Me ignoring the debt collectors knowing they just sued me and I'm actively going to court for medical bills. eBay sending me to collections for $11.86. And another, I don't need to worry about my credit card debt. Nobody pays that anyway. It's all a scheme. And then you get sued by your creditors.
This is not a newly invented concept. You can get sued for your debt. That has always been a thing. You know, people used to get jailed or even burned over their debt. Like if we go far enough back towards the more maniacal medieval side of humankind, right? So maybe getting sued over it isn't that bad in the grand scheme of things. That's a pretty good modern development in comparison to, you know, the past, what they did with debtors. Before I go too deep into math, we're just going to move on to the next chapter because we know more people like to watch and learn from stupid people than hearing the math being told in front of them. And that's fine, all right? We got plenty of stupid people to go through this video, trust me.
What's your mortgage payment?
$32.50.
Oh, this is the definition of house poor. Maybe you don't have the money. 60% of your income. Yeah. I don't give a shit what the interest rate is. 60% of your income, 60% of your income.
Gang, I'm sorry. If half your take-home check, bro, is going towards your mortgage, you cannot afford that house, big homie.
Chapter 1, House Poor. So despite houses being an aspirational thing to obtain, would you believe that over 31% of Americans feel house poor, meaning that almost a third of their gross monthly income goes towards housing costs? Like, I get houses are expensive, but unless you have a family, I'd rather split rent for several years than own a home that sucks up all of my happiness and the majority of our paycheck, right? Especially if something or multiple things start breaking down on you, you're the one responsible for shelling out 10 grand on like a new AC unit and so on and so forth. It's not cheap to maintain a home. That's the part that a lot of people who get into home ownership don't calculate for. Made even worse with the fact that most Americans can't even afford a $400 emergency, much less than a $1,000 emergency. Like, this is actually crazy. The $1,000 one was like kind of a golden standard. Have a $1,000 emergency fund, which
I bought a house that I couldn't afford. I could afford it at the time, and then 3 months after I bought the house, I lost my job.
I truly believe you should have like 3 to 6 months of your income, because in this economy, $1,000 gets like Thanos snapped. But to not even have $400 is like, yeah, there's an overspending problem. Like people are literally just winging it, and that's crazy. That is crazy. This isn't me saying to not own a house, right? It's just me saying that owning one automatically isn't a good thing either, right? Despite the insane brainwashing from our parents who forgot that they only bought their house for 100 weeks worth of lunch money. Like for us, it's literally $500,000 is the average home price. That's crazy. Or it's getting up there, right? But the fact that it's even something that is that high is still crazy to me, right? This one hits close to home for me, since being Asian American, we are drilled into our heads by our parents and all of our peers that we should buy as big of a McMansion as possible to truly live the American dream. That's what they came over from Asia for. Woo! Yeah, baby! All this home debt.
I'm a 29-year-old Nepali living in the US, and I don't think I will buy a house, at least for quite a long period of time. The first reason is because I have seen layoffs firsthand, and how can I commit to a 30-year mortgage if I don't know if I'll have the job?
I know an embarrassing amount of broke friends from this exact issue, and I'm not even scared to call them broke, since despite having a huge house, they're not doing better than me. They're completely stressed out of their mind. One of my brother's coworkers makes a combined income of $400,000 with his wife. They are both dentists and they own their own practice. However, get this, they still live paycheck to paycheck. They are part of that statistic. They used to have an $800,000 home that they owed money on that they really should have just finished paying off of, but instead they upgraded to a $1.6 million mansion a few years ago. Then they bought a $100,000 Kia SUV. I didn't even know Kias can get that expensive these days, otherwise I would have included it in the SUV epidemic, which if you haven't checked that out, definitely check out that video after this video. And watch the truck epidemic too while you're at it, because you already know the husband, despite being a white-collar 5'4" tall dentist, bought a brand new 6-figure. That's what he drives to his dental practice. Anyways, I've known these MS for 7 years, and they still are arguing nonstop every time we see them at any Asian gathering or any Asian event. You know what I'm talking about, to any of my viewers who are Asian, where you have like these Asian social gatherings. That's the phrase I was looking for, where it's so performative. I hate it. I hate that I still even attend it, but it's almost like if you don't attend it, then you get ostracized, and maybe that's just a sad coat. Maybe your boy Blade should just dip and never talk to a lot of these losers ever again. But the point is, like, they still live paycheck to paycheck, him and his wife, despite making life-changing money that most of us would be, really all of you, including me, should be able to fix every single financial stress in our lives with. Like I said, I could do that with even half that amount, so can most of you. Bar a few unique situations, like if you are someone who's going through cancer or some really bad chronic illness, you might need more. I get it, I've been there, right? Yet time and time again, every single hardship that they've experienced has literally been the consequences of their own action. But yeah, reminder, this isn't some stray case or one-time ordeal. You guys might even know some people, hate to say it, you might even know someone who fits this exact archetype, where there are more American households that would like to admit that literally were shown in the Goldman Sachs study that despite being well into 6 figures for their paycheck, are still going paycheck to paycheck.
You make $200,000 a year. What do you do for a living?
I work in public safety.
What do you do for work, Callie?
I work in real estate. I make $96,200 a year.
Okay, you make $200,000 a year in an area where the median household income is 70. And you're telling me you can't get groceries?
We have spent so long living above our means.
I think it's just mismanagement of money, to be honest.
Absolute epitome of this video title, because I genuinely believe these MFs are hardcore fumbling the bag and just overspending way too much. I have no sympathy for them.
Me and my wife have about $86,000 in debt. We make about $200,000 a year, and our current house and situation where we're living has rendered us paycheck to paycheck every single month. We have no money in savings. We have no dispensable money whatsoever. We're paying about $4,000 alone in just rent and utilities.
What's the $86,000 in debt?
Got into a truck payment on a high interest rate and high monthly payment.
I think we've identified the problem, Leonard.
I'm never gonna blame someone who is genuinely struggling on a much lower salary, who's currently spitefully commenting, man, if I had that income, I'd be set for life. I would fix everything, since you are probably right. And that's because you and I do not live above our means.
Just spend all your money. It's okay. Live above your means. It makes you work harder.
Don't ever be afraid to drop a bag on designer clothes or shoes, because if you're afraid to drop a bag, that means you're afraid that you can't run up that money again. Think abundantly and you can afford any impulsive purchase that you desire. You got it, bro.
And another saying that I've seen a billion times, especially in the hustle culture type of social media, scared money doesn't make money. And another person saying that consumer mindset.
Chapter 2, living above your means. It's one thing to live within your means, but it's absolutely disgraceful to live above your means and then blame the state of the world for the most obvious self-inflicted wound ever dealt to one's finances. Whether it's buying stupid collectibles that we already rant about in the Consumerism Slop Epidemic, pointless accessories, overpriced jewelry, watches, insanely expensive cars, or just eating out too much. Living above our means is something the internet has glorified so much to the point that the entirety of Twitter now thinks it's normal to be ordering $28 food delivery.
And some Twitter users took to respond by saying that lunch just costs $28 now and they have to eat, with others pointing out how much cheaper it is to eat at home instead of ordering DoorDash every meal. Taylor Lorenz jumped in to say that most people don't have time or skills in their day to actually cook meals.
You know what they've invented?
What?
Air fryers.
Oh, this is just how much single meals cost now. Like, excuse me? No. Learn to cook. I'm tired of the excuses. No politics, no drama. I ranted about this in an older fast food video I made, but we'll bring it up again here. Shut the hell up and put the fries in the air fryer, little bro. You don't even have to be like an actual 5-star meal home cooked chef, right? But an air fryer unironically is an easy way to just prepare cheap meals fast.
Dude, I could stick a bike tire in that thing and it would come out tasting like a Michelin star meal.
Real talk, can we stop making these massive corporations even richer by eating their slop and just buy produce that was locally grown instead? Cooking is still the best life hack. Drop the hack. Just life decision in general. Cooking is not a hack, it's a standard of living we need to bring back. Normalize learning to cook again, or just preparing food, like I said, throwing it in an air fryer.
What is your girl math? So when something's on sale and I don't buy it, I'm losing money. So that's dumb. So I just buy it.
If you have cash money and card money, if you spend the cash one, it doesn't count because it's cash.
Whenever these MFs buy something stupid, they're further perpetuating a level of trained helplessness or ditziness that many young ladies and women who are responsible adults don't want to be associated with. This isn't girl math. Let's call it what it actually is. It's just stupid math.
Girl math. I'm just a girl. I'm allergic to saving money. I deserve a little treat. All of these jokes on social media have to stop. Girl math is not a thing. It's called sunken cost fallacy, and it's a very well-known economic principle. I'm just a girl. I don't know how to do anything with money. We have to stop joking about being bad with money. Like, if men can do it, we can do it. Most men can't even get their grocery orders correct, so if they can figure out how to save money, you can too.
And trust me, guys can do plenty of stupid guy math too, so to make things fair, we're absolutely gonna make fun of guys now. One of the dumbest things I see guys my age go into debt over are expensive vehicles. But to not repeat myself here, just watch my multiple videos on dumb trucks, SUVs, and so on instead. Also, if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure to like and subscribe for more epidemic slop. Also, I've been getting a lot of comments from people saying that they enjoy my epidemic slop during dinner. I'm used to the lunch thing, but that means I'm actually getting fans from different time zones now because I am uploading this at lunchtime for Americans. So it's kind of cool. Nice to have people around the world now. That's awesome. Love to have you here. Anyways, let's take a look at watches.
Should you finance your next watch?
If you're a guy in your early 20s, buy a Rolex. Go into debt if you have to. This tweet got 30 million views not too long ago. It says, this is not satire. You can get a Rolex for $4,000. Having a nice watch communicates status to women and business relationships. And if you buy it right, it will hold its value, if not appreciate.
I do agree that watch shows status, but if you need that status to do business.
But don't you think for $4,000, it's pretty cheap to get in?
Yeah, but if you go in debt for $4,000, I think you have other problems, to be honest.
There's this crazy cope of it being the subtle flex or even wealth signaler to the ultra elite. But if there's anything I've learned from Mark Manson, it's that the subtle art of not giving a definitely outweighs the expectations of people recognizing your subtle flex. I'm not a hater of watches, by the way, especially if it's something you inherited or actually has history or sentimental value. But there are tons of trash brands that even for a few thousand are completely worthless in terms of status. This is especially true for designer clothing brands that also dabble in fashion watches.
Never buy designer watches.
I like that guy. I think this is a cool dude.
Armani, Gucci, Boss, Burberry, Versace. These may all be brands that are highly respected in the fashion world, and many people wear them in order to obtain some of their prestige. However, if you buy watches from these brands, all you do is showing you have no understanding of watches and that branding is more important to you than quality.
Don't buy any fashion brand watches. Right? Don't buy a watch in the same shop where you can buy clothes.
Whether it's Gucci, Chanel, or so on, these fashion watches do not hold their value. Using Chanel specifically as an example, they can lose 30 to 50% of their value on the secondhand market, with even their most signature models at best holding their value. Brother, imagine spending 15 grand on something that you wear on your wrist for it to lose a half of its value when sold used. Not even cars depreciate that quickly. It usually takes 5 years or so, or 3+ owners, and at least you can drive it in the meantime, right? Time and time again, people keep buying stuff they don't need with this crazy delusion that others will genuinely care, but in reality, 99% of people will not care. You spend your 20s caring what others think about you, then you're spending your 30s no longer caring about what others think, only to reach your 40s realizing they never cared at all. The sooner you reach that 40s mindset, the better your life will be. It's not called growing old and getting boring. This is true liberation of thought. This, if anything, is actual freedom. You live for you, not for them. The 20-year-olds who figure this out are literally invincible and will live the rest of their life a fully well-lived, enjoyed life. Live for you. The biggest regret old people have is they wasted decades living for others. until they realized no one cared at all. Most Gen Zers are just gonna do that one meme of like, yeah, okay, cool, and just nod at best, like a fake acknowledgement to just get you away. Regarding Rolex, right? Nowadays, you have to live with the fact that there are replicas that have gotten so good that someone will always call you out for it if you post it online. They're gonna be like, rep. Even if it's not a rep, they're gonna just comment it. And then, of course, you have non-watch people who I've already mentioned who aren't going to care or research the difference, and that's fine. Not everyone has spare time to learn every hobby ever. But now, add on to that, so many brokies are loaning them and even doing Klarna Afterpay, thus ruining the prestige and rarity of it being a signaler of high income potential when you no longer have to drop several bands at once to buy one. Instead, you could just pay it out over a few years. The ultra wealthy do not wear flashy, hyper branded, ultra designer clothes. Sure, some of their plain clothing can still cost a pretty penny, but the average person would never know, since that's kind of the point.
Here's why rich people don't buy Louis Vuitton or Gucci. Well, so do you think this Louis Vuitton shirt will make me look rich? No, actually not at all. What? Pfft, bro, this shirt cost me $850. Yeah, you might have wasted that money, because actually, Louis Vuitton and Gucci are what poor people think rich people wear. Wait, hold up, why do you say that? Brands like Gucci, Louis Vuitton don't market to rich people, they market to poor people who want to look rich. So what do rich people wear then? Usually brands you've never heard of or simple clothes with no logos. They know that status doesn't come from what brand you wear.
What is one bad financial decision that you regret making in life?
Buying a Datejust Rolex.
That's an expensive Rolex. Why do you regret that?
Yeah, it was pretty expensive, about 13 racks, and I tried proving myself in society, but that didn't help out.
So you didn't get it for yourself, you got it for other people, you feel like?
Yeah, I tried to make connections with it.
Yeah, did it work?
It looks nice though, it looks nice. It looked nice? I mean, I got like 2-3 connections out of it, but...
Did it lead anywhere?
The money wasn't made back.
A Rolex won't magically make someone a more successful person and unlock a world of connections if they still look like a slob and act like a slob elsewhere. It's like an equipable item in a video game with a percentage enhancement. A 10% charisma enchantment doesn't work when you have 0 charisma, since 10% of 0 is still 0. You need to build an identity first, instead of solely relying on flashy cars, expensive watches, stupid loans, stupid designer goods, dumb things that really don't actually make people as valuable as they think they are. If you just work on yourself and you have higher base stats naturally, then yes, 10% from these charisma enhancements, 10% of 100 if that's your new base stat, would indeed be 110 charisma. Nice.
Go and treat yourself. Take out yourself. Go somewhere, go sit down and have a drink. Go eat something.
Chapter 3, how to actually treat yourself. So a lot of people always upload things about overspending for like, oh, just treat yourself. Now there actually are degrees to this. We're only human. All of us still have the urge to spend, the urge to reward ourselves, to treat ourselves, and that plays a huge part of dopamine and motivation and how our brain works. I actually understand that. Much like Caleb, I actually disagree with Dave Ramsey with the whole coffee take. I'm actually not gonna crap on people who spend like $5-7 each morning on coffee. If that's what you need to literally get through the day, do it. Like, you can treat yourself. I think treating yourself by buying stupid microplastic trend slop like Labubus and Nitos and other garbage that has long since fallen off, that's not treating yourself. That's stupid impulsivity. But if it's something that actually gives you like tangible value, like getting you through your workday or keeping you motivated, keeping you creative, I'm not gonna hate on you for it, because like this isn't the $30 meals that we're talking about each day. This is just $5 morning coffee. Okay? Now, referring to more expensive purchases, this is where treating yourself does get dangerous. Humphrey Yang mentions the idea of substituting goods, or even goods you should just buy instead if you do have disposable income, and even Caleb Hammer acknowledges that we never really make the urge to spend go away, you just get better at dealing with it. Are cars really breaking down within 5 to 8 years? Or there are a lot of MFs out there who are chasing novelty. So in the situation that your vehicle isn't breaking, which is a lot of these situations, I have a lot of friends, you guys all do too, we have multiple videos on it, where they absolutely are chasing novelty. Remember, those paychecks used to hit before they got their new car payment. Buyer's remorse is everywhere the moment these people pass a few months of ownership and realize, oh my goodness, I just got a car that I can't afford. And then the novelty wears off and they realize that like they did not make themselves happier, they've in the long term made themselves sadder. Like, that's what I mean, that like this is not an apples to orange comparison, because we're just talking about your brain chemistry, the ideology of that. It just wants, you just have to throw a bone at it sometimes if a substitute good. Like I said, we're only human. I understand that. The reality is, I could talk about monk mode and delayed gratification, which are great things, especially delayed gratification, but I'm guilty of sometimes just wanting to buy something too. A lot of us are. It's that terminal consumerism that's been built into my American brain because of all the ads that got shoved at us. I'm not going to morally grandstand against you guys, but if you have to buy something, there are absolutely cheaper things you can buy that will give you more happiness instead. Entertain those substitutes, especially if it means finding a different hobby, preferably a cheaper hobby. Please choose a cheaper one. Once again, bringing up the gaming PC, do you know how many games I started modding, emulating, and even improving my YouTube workflow? So technically it helped pay me more. I was able to render much longer videos in minutes instead of hours because my computer was just that much more powerful. Those are the calculations you have to confront in your mind if you want to be successful. So let's talk about some substitute goods you can actually treat yourself to, that I legitimately won't shame people for spending money on. I'm going to give you guys treat recommendations that actually last years and are worth every single penny. So we already mentioned a gaming PC, a couple thousand, sure, but if you keep it 5 to 7 years or upgrade it in the meantime, you're a happy camper. Another really slept on item, literally, is your mattress. This is such a weird recommendation on paper until you realize that most people don't know mattresses have expiration dates and you should only keep them between 5 to 10 years depending on brand, type, etc. I've only changed them twice in my adult life since I change them each time I move and sell the old one on Marketplace. Each time I change mine, I wonder why I didn't change sooner. Like, a lot of people don't realize, especially if they're on an expired mattress, that they're all the back pain, all the headaches, all of that, it's demotivating them, making them hate work, making them not pursue things in life, enjoy happiness, blah, blah, blah. A quality night's sleep for the next 5 to 7 years is such a great investment in yourself. It's gonna make you work harder because literally everyone sleeps. Health is wealth. So any exercise equipment is also a great thing to treat yourself to. Power blocks are my new favorite dumbbell. I used to have those clunkier adjustable ones. I'm not sponsored, by the way. I'm literally just mentioning this because I saw PewDiePie had them and that's why I bought them. But those clunkier, like, adjustable ones, they just don't feel right. Especially when you're like doing curls with the higher weight settings. They just bump into each other all the time. So it was just nice to have something more compact. You can also just get a gym membership, whichever one works better for you. An e-bike, that's something I won't regret for years to come. It burns 30% less calories than a regular bicycle, but you can go so much further. But more importantly, can safely keep pace of American traffic and actually do errands with, and it might actually motivate people who weren't motivated to exercise. This doesn't mean morally grandstanding about like, oh, you need to lose weight, blah, blah. Just shut up. They're fun. My heart almost weeps for people who haven't ridden them. Like, they're that fun to me. However, the cheapest and most routine changing good that I treated myself to was an alarm clock. And I know a lot of people are gonna say, but my phone has an alarm, and that's the problem. I used to have an alarm clock in high school and university, and I used to be pretty productive. But I thought I didn't need one as a big boy adult because I was like, oh, my phone's got it. But then I coincidentally got a huge scrolling addiction that I couldn't quite kick since then. Most of the time when you pick up your phone at night, it's to check the time, to see how much time you have left to sleep. But do not lie to me. Most of us, after picking up our phone and seeing the time, we stay on our phone and we start doing other BS. Suddenly it's morning now, you've wasted your remaining sleep time, now you gotta clock into work. But with an alarm clock, I pick up nothing. I purposely now keep my phone farther enough away from me at night where I must stand up and walk to get it. But if I just want to know the time, I sit up in bed, look at the clock, and I'm like, oh look, I got 2 more hours to sleep, lay back down, and I enjoy my sleep until the alarm actually rings. Like, those are the best kinds of sleep, by the way. This is literally the best 20 bucks I've spent. So if there's anything you take away from this video that you should treat yourself to, that everyone can afford right now, it's to own an alarm clock again and stop using your phone as an alarm, because it does cause you to doom scroll. 100% it sucks away 1 to 2 hours of your sleep every single night. So 4 hours total, waking up and going to bed. It's horrible. This is way better than any morning routine productivity hack that you will get from those multi-$1,000 courses. Your brain is both easier to trick into doing good habits, but also easier as a trick than you think into getting stuck in bad habits. Do not give these bad habits room to fester, because then you'll rot away. Anyways, those are all the purchases I won't repeat for years to come, so I feel the value was well spent, and I think they're great things to treat yourself to. Live earnestly, be authentic, accept your urges, and find reasonable substitutes. Tell me something that's changed your life that you've bought recently, or not even recently. Tell me something that's changed your life that you've kept for years, and when you actually think about it, you go, man, that's a nice purchase. I'm not even mad about that. Like an air fryer might actually be one of them, right? If it's something you've kept for years, let me know about it. I do read comments. I love reading comments. And that's it for this video, right? Thank you so much for watching. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Share it to your brokey friends and subscribe for more epidemic slop to reduce your cortisol and keep yourself motivated to not be a brokey like all the brokies we laugh at in these videos. Anyways, though, I'll see y'all next time. Thanks for watching again. Blade Angel out.